Hey friends. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how perimenopause can increase intrusive thoughts or trauma-based looping, which the differentiation between those two can be kind of tricky to sort out. Intrusive thoughts are more like obsessions in like a OCD style framework, and trauma-based looping is like the nervous system can't quite support like the finishing of the it's okay cycle um, because it's in a chronic defense state. So it's not coming back to safety to sort of like resolve the threat. Um, Either way, in both of those scenarios, perimenopause, which includes a decrease in estrogen or decrease in consistency of estrogen. Also, perimenopause can affect word finding and executive functioning, which is very involved in language. So, some reasons why this happens. So, estrogen helps to regulate the neurotransmitters serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, all of which um, help quiet threat detection and inhibit unwanted thoughts and support cognitive flexibility. So, when you have steady estrogen, you also have steady serotonin, dopamine, and GABA, which all kind of help to put the brake on like, oh no, this is actually not important, or like, here's a bunch of information, what's important, what's not, and we can weed it out. When you don't have that weeding out, you're gonna get more of those threats coming through. And it can actually like cause old anxiety patterns to resurface. It can intensify them. For many people, the first time they experience intrusive thoughts is in midlife for this very reason. So the estrogen is either just like way too low or it's just erratic, which means that you're not getting consistency with all those other neurotransmitters. The other really reason that you can have more difficulty with all of these, like weeding out, is because the effects of perimenopause overall increase the chance that you're going to have sleep disruption and blood sugar swings, and that you're going to be just overstimulated, dysregulated. So, like, your nervous system just has less capacity during perimenopause overall. And so, like we always say, the more capacity you have, the less stressful things are going to be. The less capacity you have, the more stressful things can be. It's not that the stressful things are getting more or less stressful, it's that your capacity is allowing you to support them. So it's like if you have a heavy box and you have a strong person holding it, it's not going to feel as heavy to them as if you have a weak person holding it, it's going to feel heavier, even though the weight of the box didn't change. So when we're in perimenopause, we have weaker muscles, so to speak. So any box is going to feel heavier, including a stressful thought. Um, Also, we are going to have less prefrontal cortex efficiency. So the hormone fluctuations are going to affect working memory, word retrieval, like I said, and inhibition of irrelevant thoughts. So normally these neurotransmitters help us to go, that's not important, move on. Or we don't even, like, it doesn't even come to conscious um, noticing for us when we are having less efficient working memory, less efficient word retrieval, and inhibition of irrelevant thought, those things are going to keep coming up and be like, are you sure? Isn't it important? Should you look at this again? And that can feel like that, like rumination. It's coming back, it's going to come, it's coming back, it's coming back. Um, so, in any time that we are, um, you know, sort of repressing things or, able to sort of mask and hold on to things when we have more capacity. When we have less capacity, we're not going to be as able. So we've all experienced that, like, You are sick and normally you would be like really calm and patient with somebody, and then you're sick and worn out and something happens and you like snap, right? We just overall have less capacity. So there's tons of reasons why you might be having more intrusive thoughts or more rumination, and it can be very frustrating. But there is one strategy that can sometimes help. In addition to talking to your doctor and exploring HRT, which I know can be a very frustrating and invalidating process. Believe me, from personal experience, I know there are lots of reasons why the doctor does not want to give us access to HRT. It could be that we have, we're too young for perimenopause, or there's not enough evidence that we are in perimenopause, or, oh, let's just give you an antidepressant. Um, of course, that is a very common experience, so I really get it. I'm so sorry. And and despite that, like we can push, and even if you need to find a new doctor, find three new doctors. Um, get the support that you feel like is important for you, including hormone replacement therapy. And then the other thing that can be just a powerful in the moment, with or without HRT support, um, two different directions we can go. One is coming back to the present moment and connecting with our senses, which is what mindfulness is. It doesn't have to be any kind of meditation or any kind of spiritual woo-woo thing. It's just connecting with your senses. So it could be as simple as I'm going to get myself a cup of tea and I'm going to say, this tea is in this cup and this cup feels warm when the tea is in it, and taste it. This tea is very watered down because I used the tea bag several times. It tastes like it doesn't have any tea in it, right? Just bringing myself back to what something actually tastes like, or smells like, or feels like, or sounds like, or looks like is going to give my brain a chance to focus on something else for a moment, which sometimes can help get us out of a loop. So lots and lots of connecting with your senses. And then the other thing that can be helpful, which comes from acceptance commitment therapy, is we name the thought as, for example, if I have the thought, so and so doesn't like me, okay, I can go, oh, I am having the thought that so and so doesn't like me. Or we could say, I am noticing that I am having the thought that so and so doesn't like me. And even that, like, second step, I'm noticing that I'm having the thought, I felt my nervous system relax. Another way you could do it is you could say, I'm noticing that I'm having a perimenopause thought that so and so doesn't like me. And this brings it, even like each step, what we're doing is we're bringing it like a little bit outside of us and we're observing it, which brings us back into our frontal lobe. So even if our frontal lobe has less resources, coming back to it is the place where we're going to be able to consider whether something is true and important to keep focusing on. When we're in our lower brain, there is no consideration. It's just keep focusing on it, keep focusing on it, keep focusing on it. And that's why it feels like a loop, because there's no resolution that's meant to happen. In the defense brain, we're supposed to hyper focus on the threat. And so anything that we can do to get us back into observation, so we're observing either through our senses what's actually physically around us, or we're observing through saying, oh, I'm noticing that I'm having a thought that so and so doesn't like me. And this is probably influenced by perimenopause, and having the whole conversation that we've just had right now. Oh, I know that I have less access to my neurotransmitters right now. I know that I have less resources in my executive functioning right now. This makes so much sense. This thought is not about me and it's not relevant to the situation. It is about the brain functioning that I have right now. Whoa, I'm a part of like a big history of assigned female at birth people who have been through this. I can do research about how, people assigned female at birth were regularly lobotomized in the early 19th century or 1900s, right? that between 1900 at the end of World War One and the 1950s, people like were regularly lobotomized without consent often because as they were going through perimenopause, they had less connection with the ability to be happy servants all the time, right? And that made people really upset. And society couldn't handle it, and lots of people were put without consent into psych hospitals on medications that drugged them for the rest of their life, and even given brain surgeries without consent. So we are not the first people to have experienced this, but we may be some of the first people to have experienced it without being just shuttered away. And so we're grappling with like, if I am going to have these feelings, what am I going to do with these feelings, right? And how am I going to get support and advocate for myself? And I'm so grateful for all the people who have opened up this reality where we can be having these conversations. So try to remember that you are not alone and that this is incredibly challenging and there is not a reason that it should be easy, and that we can advocate for ourselves with our medical providers, excuse me, and we can also give ourselves resources in the meantime and in addition to medical support through mindfulness, checking with your senses, and trying out some of that acceptance commitment therapy strategy of I'm noticing that I'm having a thought that is probably influenced by perimenopause, that blah, 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 blah. Another ACT strategy that's very cute is you can imagine the thought being said by like a little funny character in a funny voice. And sometimes that too can help to be like, oh, yeah, that thought is actually not one that makes a lot of sense. Um, so, wanted to offer those ideas and send you so much love on the journey. Um, and if you have other ideas of how to support this, I'd love to hear them in the comments. Okay, lots of love.